Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
Welcome to the Balking Dead, fellas, where you know there's no sleep for the wicked. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and me and this guy next to me have been on a motherfucking heater, fellas. So it started for me last Friday when I pulled out that old pirate pistol and used both shots. So it's Friday, and there's no other person in the world that I want to talk K-props with. My guy, Spin Doc Sports. How you doing? And boy, wasn't Evaldi something nice to watch?
That was so awesome. That was so fun to watch. That was, it's so weird because when you cash a prop that easily, they're like, I mean, I'm happy, don't get me wrong, but then there's part of me I'm like, fuck, should I ladder that guy? I'm like, should I have just laddered him up to, I mean, maybe not to 11, but holy Christ, like Oakland hitters, the A's hitters were lost. That's the best word I could use to describe them. They were absolutely lost. And the thing about it was, he wasn't even throwing his split. I mean, they were laying off the splitter, but then he would just mix in a changeup and they would be like 10 miles out in front of it. I'm like, how many more times is he going to do that before they swing a mile in front? And apparently it was all night.
It was a wonderful thing. I was a vagina, took him down to 6. You were not. You were now wishing you would have laddered him. Either which way, it was all money. And the 18.5 outs, man, may have been just fucking way too easy, guys. At the end of the day, I think I've got these outs things figured out. But at the end of the day, it was a really good day, guys. We went 4-0 yesterday. Once again, we dropped the Dirty K-prop video for Senga in the morning. We jumped out on freaking Jimmy's show in the morning because we did not have a show yesterday. And gave out Darvish, gave out the Evaldi 2 bets we had. And had a good day like we've been having, but it's 0-0 today, guys. So at the end of the day, it don't mean a motherfucking thing. It's done and over with. And we on to today, guys. So this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go over there, use that promo code PUBSPORTS on your first deposit. They will match it up to $100, minimum of $25. And as you already know, guys, on this show, we got another sponsor because when you win, they want in. W, guys, a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. And by scanning the QR code on screen, you'll get 10% off your first order by simply using that promo code PUBSPORTS. Shout out to the chat, guys. Appreciate you all for coming in. Shout out to the best producer in the whole wide world. He will be dropping his link for his podcast him and Billy's been doing at the end or in the beginning, whenever the hell he damn show chooses. And y'all need to show some little bit of respect to the man who's shown respect to every one of you guys in the chat. Me, I'm a cocksucker. I don't talk to you, a lot of people. I do me and keep going. This man makes sure you get your comments pulled up. He'll speak back to you, and he's done it for years in the chat, guys. So the least you can do is support the dude who's been supporting me since day fucking one. And go listen to his podcast for about 5-10 minutes and, give him a little bit of feedback on it. Good or bad, feedback's a good thing, guys. So help a motherfucker out who's been trying to get himself in front of a camera, but has always been too shy. So let's get to the money, guys. Though on this show, guys, we use FanDuel lines, then compare them to PrizePicks unless stated otherwise. Let's talk about the guy everybody and the titty girl has been talking about today, guys. Number 87 in the black book. You motherfucking right. He gets into the black book automatically. Yuri Perez, guys, versus the Reds. 2022 in Double-A, he had a 34.1 K percentage and a 8 walk percentage. This year in Double-A, he has a 35.9 K percentage and a 7.7 walk percentage in 35 innings. Guys, don't let the Double-A shit fool you. The good pitchers don't see Triple-A, guys. All the talent is in Double-A, where Triple-A you tend to go to die more often than not. So, opening line, and boy, oh boy, did this move. 5+ is at plus 108 on FanDuel last night. Morning line was at a minus 108. And right before the show, he has moved a whole strikeout up to 6+ at plus 116. He's at a 5 flat on PrizePicks, where his pitching outs, earned runs, and hits were not available on PrizePicks. Your lineup for your Reds is 6 righties, 3 lefties. No splits, as obviously this will be his first ever MLB start. So, let's talk about the guy you told me the girl, even the titty bar girls fucking betting this girl.
They love him. They love him. All right. So for those of you that might be as old as me in the here, you may remember a band called The Cure, and The Cure had this song called "It's Friday and I'm in Love," and it's Friday, and I fucking love this guy. I love his stuff. I love his potential. Real quick. The man throws 4 pitches: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. His fastball has topped 100 in the minor leagues. 100, and has good spin on it. He attacks the zone. He's aggressive. He throws multiple breaking and off-speed pitches. There is a reason why this guy is the Marlins' top prospect and one of the top 5 prospects in all of Major League Baseball, depending on where you read. Just even watching him, because I don't just read scouting reports, I watch the guy. I have probably watched close to an hour or so total of film on this dude. And what I like the most about him is that unlike other guys that are freakishly tall like he is, because the man's 6'8", he's probably closer to 6'9", could have easily been a basketball player, but decided he wanted to play baseball at a young age. And with his delivery, he throws a pure traditional overhead delivery. So whereas you think like a guy that's that tall, like Randy Johnson, who would deliver more with a sidearm delivery, and so he can get different types of movement, this guy throws, and keep in mind, this is a guy on the bump. So he is towering over these hitters. It's actually kind of funny to watch him deliver, because it looks like a fucking accordion unfolding. So the man just uncorks his body and whips the ball. So he's actually throwing down on hitters. So you're going to see a lot of pitches low in the zone. But this guy, yeah, I mean, it's really, really dangerous to compare Double-A strikeouts percentages to what he can do in the major leagues, because the hitters just are not the right, they're just not the same. They might be guys that have potential, but they're just not the same. So, but this guy, when you watch his delivery, when you watch how he finds locations in the zone, really, to me, mentally, the only thing holding him back tonight would be if the moment overtakes him. But Sharpie, I saw you tweeted about it. I saw it yesterday too. Who picked him up from the airport? Who called him and told him you're coming up to the show? Who mentored him in spring training? One Sandy Alcantara. Sandy Alcantara has been his mentor for about almost the last like 6 months. They've been texting. They're close. Sandy knows what's up. Sandy knows that this is his number 2 coming up the ranks. And if this guy can improve a few more things, his secondary pitches, sometimes he doesn't throw as well as his fastball, but if he can do that, there is nothing holding this man back from being a number 1 or number 2 starter in this league for years.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, you should know. I pretty much only talk baseball with two people, and because I think you can get poisoned by hearing multiple opinions. And I speak K-props with this guy right next to me, and I speak baseball with Noli knows every fucking day of my life. And we watch a lot of the games together throughout the day. So at the end of the day, Noli put me on this kid years ago, guys, and he would have been called up a year ago, but he missed a whole year due to COVID. This 20-year-old stud, guys. At the end of the day, should have been called up a long time ago. And him and Alcantara go back to when he was drafted at 16. And to put on top of that 6'8" frame, he was only 6'4", guys. Those last 4 inches came in the last 2 years of his life, guys. So he's learned now how to pitch with that. So this guy has just gotten more and more freakishly like better, guys. At the end of the day, I think Chris Young throwing over the top and how sneaky he was, and he sucked dick, but he went through the majors and did just well. So yeah, been watching this kid for years. So let's talk about it. The number one prospect in the Marlins system, depending on where you look at, 5 through 7 in baseball, guys, making his first start in the bigs. And it happens to be passing, rest in peace, Jose Fernandez for the youngest Marlins ever to start a game at a cool 20 years old, guys. The only other prospect to make the top 10 for the Marlins system in the Baseball All-America was just spoke of, Jose Fernandez, guys. So there's a lot more than just him being called up early. That has to do with the late, great Jose Fernandez, guys. So he is one of the most electric people I've ever watched, guys, on the mound. And I'm talking Jose Fernandez, guys. That dude was legit. So they call Yuri up, guys, and the way they did it means the world to me. If, like, you didn't see it, guys, his mentor since he's been called up and been drafted has been Sandy Alcantara, and that to me means the world that he even picked him up from the airport. You don't have to pick a fucking man up from the airport. You can meet him at his hotel room, guys. So that does mean something. I saw some people throwing some crazy stats out there like, oh, what car was he driving or this or that. Bro, go pound that shit in the side of your neck, bro. At the end of the day, I don't cap like that. I don't bet trends. Sorry. I'm not a trend better. So let's talk about it, guys. And the question for Team Sharpie was, are they really going to open this man at 5.5? And this was stated. We were talking about this shit since Wednesday when we knew this man was getting the call up. And I was like, man, I think we get a 4.5, guys. They did it to Taj, Mason Miller, Grayson Rodriguez, and Tanner Bybee, guys. All opened up at 4.5, depending on the juice where you want to talk about it. So I didn't trip out yesterday, guys. And I get it. If you just look at the numbers, they say no. They're not walking. They're not striking out. And they're 10th to middle of the pack in average in the power department. So I'm saying we get in, guys. And like Taj Bradley, Perez has a blow it by you upper 90s fastball with 3 legitimate off-speed pitches. And we were on Taj versus the Reds when the numbers said no as well. And he went out there and got 8 yakums. So I'm on this spot because the number is off strictly, guys. And within a start or two, I expect the books to overreact and jump them up. And I'm not surprised he already got bumped to a 5.5 now, guys. That's an overreaction to a man who's never started in the league. I probably would have passed it at 5.5. No bullshit, guys. I'm not saying I don't think he goes out there and dominates it and gets it, but 4.5 was the number I wanted. I got it, and I got in. And I will not pay minus 140 or higher juice for a kid, period. At the end of the day, he's a kid. He hasn't earned my trust. The last time I went out and paid juice for a guy that hadn't earned my trust was Kodai Senga, and he shit all over my face. So I have to pay attention to the rules I set. And if you have to get in, like, I don't hate it, guys. I get it. You know, you want to watch this guy, you want to bet him. I'd put a half unit on the plus money if you missed out on the 4.5 already. And I'm going to start my alt parlay with this man, guys. We're going to take him down to 4. And we're going to add 2 more people onto him to get a minus 112. Now, before the show started, this shit's bumped up to a minus 132, but still a bettable alt parlay that I am on. So the only other thing I could say about this, guys, is he's starting at home. And that to me means the world. If we talked about all those guys that we just talked about that are rookies, only one started on the road, and that was G-Rod. And he had to watch Jacob deGrom start. You understand butterflies on your first start, guys, is fucking ginormous, bro. especially for a pressure on this type of kid and these kids that we've talked about. These guys are all expected to be really good for their organization. So you want them to start at home. You want them to go onto the mound straight from the bullpen, everything regular cycle. And if you listen to the video I put out, if you listen to what Alcantara told him, he says, don't do nothing other than what you've already done. Trust yourself, trust your pitches. You're good enough. Welcome to the show, kid. So at the end of the day, welcome to the show. Anything else to add on?
Nope. Very excited to watch this one. I want to see this kid live against MLB hitters.
I'm ready to go.
I mean, you kind of saw it in spring training. If it's out there on YouTube, you can watch him.
You worked every spring training start.
Me too. Actually, especially against one of my favorites was him against Nolan Arenado, who, as we know, great hitter, great player, professional hitter with his approach to his at bat. And watching those two battle in a minor league, in a spring training start was something to watch, because you could just see his intensity ramp up. Where it's spring training, and the games don't technically count, but you could see that this kid took it very seriously and was like, this is Nolan fucking Arenado. Like I'm going after this guy. And that's exactly what he did. Didn't strike him out, but got him out on weak contact. But there were even a few pitches where you could even see Arenado's face where he was kind of like, okay, game respects game. Okay.
He's a stud, guys. We almost got 50 lives, only 20 likes. Y'all must hate me, guys. I've been giving you money all fucking week. I asked for a damn like button to be hit, and I got to scream at you for that shit? That's ridiculous, guys. So, number 5 in the black book, Garrett Cole on a back-to-back versus the Rays. 32.4 K percentage last year with a 6.3 walk percentage. This year he has a 28.6 K percentage and a 7.9 walk percentage. Morning line on DK was 7+ -145. He's closed out on DK at a -160 to that 7+. We're on FanDuel. They got him over at an 8+ +102. PrizePicks has him at a 7 flat, whereas pitching outs, earned runs, hits were not available on PrizePicks. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties for your Rays. Last year's K per 9, 12.1 compared to an 11.2 at home. And he's always been better at home. Go back to last year and this year, 11 K per 9 to an 8.2 this year on the road. Where lefties, he's actually been throughout his career better than, but he's averaging the same right now, 10 each way. Where last year it was a 12.7 K per 9 and a 10.5 versus the right-handed side. Let's talk GCZ, baby.
All right. So, Mr. Cole. Yep, you already mentioned it. This is a back-to-back spot for him against a team that he only had, I think it was like a 23 or 24% K percentage against last time. And only is at 20.5% for the season, King against right-handed pitching. It's a little bit higher than that the last 15 days, but they have been on the road a number of times there like they are tonight. So the other thing that I noticed here too was in Cole's home starts. Now for sure this year, and if you go back to last year, there's a lot of this as well, is when he has a divisional opponent, home or road, doesn't matter, who is K'ing less than 25% against righties and has a walk percentage less than 9% against righties, is that he misses this mark more often than not, especially at the 7.5, which is what's on FanDuel right now. He misses this mark more than you would think that he does. And his overall strikeout percentage during those starts is only around 23. It's not very high. The thing that I like the most about the Rays this year is, I mean, aside from their just absolutely gaudy record, is that, overall contact, I mean, they're okay. They're average. But what they do is they do a very, very good job at swinging at strikes and letting other pitches go. They do have a 15.1% called strike rate in the last 15 days. That is well below average in MLB. They are, what that also means is at pitches inside the zone, so pitches that would be called strikes, they are swinging 68.9% of the time, which is almost number 1 in baseball. Their contact on those is in the 80s, so that's very solid. So when you get that, when you get all those factors, and against Mr. Garrett Cole on a back-to-back. The other thing that I noticed about Cole is that there are a few of his pitches, at least in his last start, velo was down quite just a little bit. The curve was probably the biggest one at almost a mile an hour. His four-seam velo was down slightly. It's not so much where you would notice it unless you factor in that he's playing, or that he's pitching against the exact same team second time. Now, Cole at home obviously has been very, very dominant to that number. Yep. And so Cole to that number has been very, very dominant at home. However, the Rays, quite honestly, are the one divisional team. Because, like, if this were any other team in the AL East, I would be like, I think you play his over or you play nothing here. The Rays, with their discipline that they've shown this year, are the only one in that division that I would be like, let's pause on that one on the back-to-back. So, Sharpie, go ahead.
Oh man, you got to give me a great reason to play a back-to-back, guys. So we got this back-to-back with Garrett Cole, and we've talked about it on this show, guys. You need a good reason to run a K prop versus these Rays, guys. And only getting 6 strikeouts the game before, that is a reason you can look at Cole, guys. I've talked about it. I will not run a pitcher on a back-to-back if he didn't get a bunch of strikeouts the first time, guys. Well, Cole's been a 6.5 3 times this year, and he's 2-1 to the under. The only time he won, we talked about how Zunino was a good reason to get in, and Zunino had a golden sombrero that day, guys. He was the reason he went over. So I was watching the game last week, and Cole ended with 6 strikeouts, but he got his first strikeout off a guy who's got great numbers off of Cole and rarely has struck out versus him on a pitch clock strikeout, and he still couldn't get over versus these Rays. Now, Wander Franco exited the game last night, and he may be out the lineup today. And for me to even look at Cole, I'm going to need more lefties than righties. Last time they threw out 7 and 2, guys. I am not going to get involved with the lineup that doesn't have at least 4 lefties, and it's got to have at least 2 to 3 different bats than where it was at last week for me to even consider it, guys. Grayson Rodriguez, the only guy I played on a back-to-back this year, was versus the Tigers. They put in 3 different right-handed bats that day. It told me I can go, but these numbers versus the Rays, they're getting up there with Cleveland. They're getting up there with Boston now, to where you better have a good fucking reason to play against these Rays, guys. They dropped Cole down the first time they seen him. He didn't hit. They dropped Hunter Green down. He didn't hit. And go on and so forth. There's been a few pitchers that has hit the over, and Hunter Brown had a good game versus them. Garcia had a good game versus them. Javier did not hit the over. So at the end of the day, this team has held some studs in check, and I will respect the fuck out of them. So unless the Rays do something that they will not do, then I'll have to look at it, guys. So lineups pending, I guess. Then I'll look at Cole some more, but no way can I run them on a back-to-back unless they just do some asinine shit and put out a different lineup. Anything else to add on?
No, I think you said it best. And you know, if the velo wasn't down, and actually on 2 of his pitches, velo's been down the last 2 starts. If velo hasn't been down like it has, that might be something where, given the right lineup, I might lean into that one a little bit. But man, this Rays team is absolutely for real. And I would even say without Wander, obviously he would help, but without Wander, they are for real. They are for real. So, and you know, back-to-backs. So I know Sharpie doesn't take guys on back-to-backs, because you know, y'all know I bet unders. Back-to-backs are like my dream scenario, because I'm like, oh, good. They see him the second time in a row. I'm like, familiarity, and the books do not always adjust to the back-to-back. They just take the same numbers that they always take, depending on the pitcher, the card, whatever. They don't always adjust. So
they did that with all 3 back-to-backs today. They opened up their original lines, and they've been bet accordingly, but they did open them exactly where they fucking were last week.
Exactly.
They opened Snell at 6.5. They opened May at 5.5, and they opened Cole at a 6.5. All the same juice, roughly.
Yep.
And it was just, and they've all been bet either down or up. But yeah, like you said, they don't adjust on a back-to-back.
They do not.
And one thing for those that are in here right now, I'm gonna drop a fucking nugget on you guys. This is something that actually my guy next to me picked up on a few years back with Garrett Cole, guys, at home. And that's why I started laughing when he said at home. After the second inning, guys, his spin rate tends to go up at home. And we all know he's been caught with text messages talking about how he uses shit. And we're not talking about methamphetamines here, guys. So at the end of the day, if his strikeouts are down in the first 2 innings and he's pitching well, look at alive, he's going to come out and start not cheating, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying it, guys. Just watch it, bro. Just watch. He's at home, guys, and the camera doesn't zoom up on Garrett Cole. They make sure the camera zooms up on the batter. I'm telling you guys, I've been watching this shit for years, and I figured out how certain guys get away with certain shit. So at the end of the day, let's talk oh, God. My balls were sucked in when I seen this line last night, and it's gotten even worse. So let's talk about if there's a trap line out here, guys. But I don't know if you want to trap this guy as a fucking thing, guys. This is a guy I couldn't look under on. I know this guy next to me can't look under on, even though everything's saying they want the over. Let's talk Spencer Strider and the Blue Jays. Number 8 in the Black Book, 2022, 38.3 K percentage with an 8.5. Can we get better? 42.4 K percentage with an 8.9. Opened him up last night at a 9 plus minus 110. Woke up to a 9 plus plus 110, and now he's at plus 118. Ruh-roh, Shaggy. PrizePicks has him at an 8, whereas hits allowed under over is at 4.5. Projected lineup is 6 righties, 3 lefties, and one of those lefties is Kiermaier, which can be a golden sombrero, which is why I'm not getting this fucking line, and maybe the guy next to me can. Let's talk K per 9.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can, bro. It's all the same, bro. His K per 9 this year is better than last year, guys. Home, 16. He was better at home than on the road. It's the same thing. 16 K per 9 to a 13.8. And he's jumped up versus lefties from a 12 K per 9 to a 16. And he's at a 14 K per 9 versus the right-handed side. That changeup has made him lethal. So go ahead.
Yeah, Spencer Strider has, for instance, pretty much his first start of the year, has been on my, I've talked about on this show before, there's 3 options for every pitcher, over, under, or pass. For Spencer Strider, there are 2, and that would be over or pass. Betting an under on Spencer Strider, to me, just is not an option, just because he is one of the few pitchers that, regardless of lineup, regardless of umpire, regardless of circumstances, can just go out there and punch guys out no matter what. Now, here are some things to me that I saw that would make you think, especially at the plus money, that you might be able to hit this over for a little bit. Strider for the year has a 68.4% first pitch strike percentage. That is one of the best in Major League Baseball. And over the last 15 days, the Blue Jays as a team, first strike percentage, 66.2, worst in baseball. Now, why that's important. When Strider goes 0-1 on hitters, I actually ran the math on this 3 times because I'm like, there's no fucking way this is right. 50.5 strikeout percentage. Absurd. Like you would think that it's like that he's facing like a little league team. I mean, that's just absurd to strike out a major league team 50.5% of the time just because you get strike 1. So when you have a team that is the worst in baseball at going 0-1 on hitters, that would lead me to believe that I don't think he's going to strike these guys out at 50.5%, but that strongly plays into the over. Strider for the year has a 95th percentile whiff rating, 95th percentile. So only 5% of pitchers are getting more whiffs than him. And the majority of them, keep in mind, this is all pitchers, are relievers or guys that have far less innings. Why this is important is, in addition to their rather horrendous first strike percentage, the Blue Jays, over the last 15 days, 17.3% called strike percentage. That is almost a full percentage point above what the average is, and one of the worst in baseball. So the problem here is that at home against right-handed pitching for the year, and they face some decent ones, is that the Blue Jays are only K'ing at 19.7% of the time, and they're walking 10% of the time. Strider, when he faces teams that do have that like up towards the 10% walk rate, I mean, he still has hit 9 in pretty much every game, but it's been a lot more of a struggle. In the end, I don't think that I can do anything with this one. Now, what I might be more interested in is if there's a few other guys on the mound that I think maybe are 1K too high. You can do a little alt parlay and get yourself close to or at some plus money. So, like for example, like Strider 8+ was something else, but where it's at right now, and just how it's set, it's mind fucking me too much. And when that happens, I normally just pass.
Bro, when you talked about the walk percentage, I flipped open my book from last year. 5 games with a walk percentage of 9.5 or higher. He only hit that one time.
Correct.
So yeah, that fucking makes a lot of sense. So there we go. Now we get why we're getting plus money on the line, because I was fucking blown away by it. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? What are they doing? What are they doing? At the end of the day, guys, they gave us a prop at 90% that he's hit it in his last 10, guys. At first glance, I was like, holy fuck, guys. What are they doing? And I couldn't really figure it out, guys. I get last year, this was a pesky bunch versus right-handed and left-handed pitchers, guys. But it's this year. And they haven't respected them like they did the books respected them last year. And what I mean by that is Nola and Wheeler were their same fucking lines they were the week before. They didn't adjust Nola and Wheeler. Why are they adjusting Spencer Strider, guys? Before this line popped out, I knew fucking Wheeler got 7. So I was like, fuck, man, shit, hold my beer. I'll bet 9.5 when they put this out. No, 8.5 and a bettable money and now plus money. Oh God, guys, at the end of the day, I cannot bet the over 8.5 as it seems as fishy as they come. But I got to run from it, guys, like I run from a tweakers with JJ who's been up for 3 weeks, guys. Good pitching beats good hitting. And Strider is elite, guys. I have seen them try to put a trap on this man before, and he's blown through it, guys. So no way in god dang Sam hell can I ever look under. But I've got to let the 8.5 go over personally. But like he said next door, we're going to pull this man down to 6. Yeah. If Aaron Nola can get 6, I'm going to fucking put him down to 6, bro, okay? 6 for him on my alt parlay tied to Yuri Perez at 4. We're going to add one more man to it. I got minus 112. It's now at a minus 134. Still bettable. So anything else to add on to old McStrider?
No. Just if you're betting it standalone, no matter how fishy or trappy it looks, you just can't take an under for this man. You just can't do it.
Especially with Kiermaier in the fucking lineup.
And keep in mind, this is a guy that bets unders daily and that studies and tries to look and find unders, and I can't find a reason to ever take his under ever. So no under.
Yeah, definitely. I hope the books get cracked, guys. If you are on them, I will be rooting for Spencer Strider. As I say, he's on the Mount Rushmore for a reason. Now let's talk another guy who owes me money from last week, that little prick. Logan Allen versus the Angels, 83 in the black book. AAA last year, he had a 27K percentage and a 10.7 walk percentage. His combined AAA and MLB this year in 30 innings is a 30K percentage and a 7.8 walk percentage. Opening line with Caesars was the first one to pop him up at minus 161 for 5+. And now Caesars has him at a minus 143, where FanDuel has him at a 5+. Minus 136. PrizePicks has him at a 5 flat, where pitching outs under over is 16.5. Projected lineup is 8 righties, 1 lefties for your Halos. Not enough innings to split, as this will be his 4th MLB start. What you got to say about a guy who burnt us last week?
He sure did. Now, if I told you that Logan Allen would have 3 starts this year, and they would be at home against the Twins, the Marlins, and at Boston, and I would say in 2 of those games he'd have 8. In 1 of those games he would have 3. Pick the 3. And
Boston.
If you knew nothing else, you would say Boston every time, and
hands down.
And if you say anything else, you're lying. So it would be Boston, but no, it was at home against the Twins, who were K'ing at an incredible rate at that time. I watched that whole game like I do every Twins game, and 92 pitches, faced 26 batters, had every chance in the world to hit this. He only walked 2 batters, but he was all over the zone. Went 1-0 on way too many hitters in this one. The Twins, for all their strikeouts that they have, when they do go up 1-0, they in a count, they do K less than 20% of the time. And he just couldn't find it. Couldn't find the zone, and often would start. So, I mean, the man doesn't have elite velo. His fastball only tops out at about 93, 94. But he's got that changeup that he works in there, but he never gets a chance to, because he would set people up with a sweeper and a fastball and then come in with the changeup and have them either be out in front or make weak contact to get to get outs. That didn't happen because he didn't get up in counts. So, for me, I look at this one and I look at what his opponent is going to be doing from a strike perspective, because in the games that he did get 8, he had elite first strike percentage. I think against the Twins, he was actually less. He was less than 60 for sure. He might have been less than 50. So when I look at the Angels here, with the exception of recently against Javier, the Angels have been better, but their first strike percentage is right at 60, which is right at league average. Now they also have a slightly above average swinging strike rate. So where I go with this one is, it's hard for me to trust this guy tonight after what I saw in his last game. Because like I said, I watched every single pitch that he made and watched his delivery, and also watched his mental makeup too. There were more than a few times where he got the ball back from the catcher when he didn't get a strike call. And, normally pitchers get frustrated, but you could just see it in his face. Like he was mentally rattled. And so that told me to say, you know what? If I had a free play, I'd probably play the over on this one. But for this guy, I am probably just going to wait and see how he bounces back. Or if he does.
I think he does. Something I always talk about is learning from your mistakes, guys. And yesterday, even though I hit Senga over, I made a mistake with Senga. I should have known by the numbers that people who look only at numbers were going to bet it down. And I could have got really good plus money instead of the minus 115 where I got in at. So, yeah, I cashed it. But getting the best number is what we should be trying to do at all times, guys. So, yeah, I know when it's going to get steamed. I need to pay a lot more attention when I'm bucking the system at times and let people bet them under. And that's what I told Team Sharpie last night, guys. I was like, hey, it's minus 161 now, guys. He's going to come down. And I wake up, guys, he's at minus 136, guys. And yeah, I get it. People who look at numbers are going to bet him under. But I don't just look at that, guys. At the end of the day, guys, numbers are like lawyers. They don't necessarily lie to you. They just don't tell the whole truth, guys. And the numbers would have said run from Senga yesterday. The only thing, I just think I found the way how to bet Senga, guys. But if you look at K percentage and just strictly look at those numbers, you weren't going to run it versus a 19.7 K percentage of the Cincinnati Reds, guys. You just weren't. And that's why people bet them under. And thank you, but I should have got plus money is what I'm getting at. So let's talk about the Angels, guys, and why I want to get in on our guy, Logan Allen. And we know the Angels' numbers versus lefties are good. Well, they're not walking, but they're not striking out, guys. 18% clip, which is insane over their last 200 plate appearances. And that's including 10 strikeouts from fucking Framer Valdez. Like, insane, guys. Like, okay, I get it, guys. Okay. I've talked about it, guys, going back to last week, bucking numbers in the system. You got to be my hog to buck the numbers in the system, guys. And at the end of the day, even though I want to bet this guy, even though I want to get in, it's not my fucking hog, guys. He's played 3 games. And even though I think he goes out there and deals, I can't. I got to listen to the rules I've set, guys. I ran McClanahan. When the numbers said no, he's my hog. He cashed. Ran Javier when the numbers said no, he's my hog. He cashed. I knew Valdez was going to. I was a puss and watched him cash. I'm done letting my hogs go in situations where the numbers say no. I can't play Allen here, even though the numbers say no, and I think he fucking shoves. Now, I actually like the man's mound presence, and to go still 6 innings and do what he did last week, so the strikeouts weren't there. The first fucking pitch strike is probably a big deal, but still to go 6 innings, that means something to me, guys. You know who got knocked off my list for mound presence, guys, is Tanner Bybee. That guy I'm not betting on for a long fucking time. Every time somebody hit the ball or he didn't get a strike, literally would slump his shoulders. Bro, you can't strike someone out every fucking time. You just can't. This is the big leagues, bud. So and this is a guy like Perez who went from AA to the big leagues, guys, and you've got to have that mental makeup. You're not going to strike everybody out. It's the big leagues, bro. Like, this ain't AA no more. So at the end of the day, mental makeup is huge. And I didn't look at this man's outs till after when I threw it in at the end when I was looking at the prize pick. So I'm going to dig in a little more on that 16.5 outs. I think this man goes 6 innings today, 2 earned runs or less. And then I added him in as the last part of the alt parlay. I took him down to 4, guys. I can't buck the system when I want to with a guy I don't trust at the number they have, so I'll fucking bring it down like a vajayjay. So to end my alt parlay, guys, I got Allen at 4+, Perez at 4+, and Strider at 6+. Got it at -112. It was a -134 as the show started. It's still bettable, guys. I almost left out Strider this morning, and that was a -149, and I'm not afraid of betting juice, guys. I'm like fucking Encino, man. Wheezing the juice. But you've got to be a guy I respect to wheeze the juice, guys. And at the end of the day, Perez, I want him. I want to respect him, but he ain't earned it, guys, so I can't pay -149. So I brought him down with the GOAT, old Mick Strider, to get us as close to even money as we can. Anything else to add on?
Yeah, not for that. Just on the drinking juice part of it, for those who might be new to betting K props. I know a lot of people in the chat and in the audience aren't, who are regular viewers. But if you're a new viewer, happen to come across this, just understand that when you do K props on a regular basis, you are going to have to drink juice sometimes because I mean, there's only 2 sides that you can take. I mean, it's not like you can take pushes and shit. So and with the way that these are lined, with the way that these are bet, every now and then, I mean, we try not to do it on a regular basis, but yes, we are there are some times where you're going to have to drink -140, where you're going to have to drink -150 in the right spots. You also have to remember is that, do you pay juice if you win? No, you fucking don't. You do not pay juice if you win. So, the thing with the juice on the props is I'm like you, Sharpie. I have my ranges for what I'll pay for certain guys, and then I have my absolute, like, if a guy's over this, I just let it go no matter what, because I also know the percentage that such a bet has to win at to be profitable long term. And that's all we're really trying to do here, is just get plus EV long term. So don't be afraid, because most of the MLB plays that you see on like sides and totals are -112, plus 100, -108. Whatever the case might be for whole teams. For individual players like pitchers, or if you do hitter props, just understand that there are times where you're going to have to pay juice. You're going to have to pay up.
Yeah, but guys like us who track it, and I mean, I'm not here to knock a lot of people. A lot of people will give out 6 to 10 plays a day, but don't track what they're fucking doing with their win percentage or what that juice is actually doing to those losses, guys. Fucking -140 and up, you better be winning over 60%, guys. And I mean, if you're hitting 2 out of 3, you're paying yourself back 7%. Like, that is not a good margin. You need to be better than that at the end of the day. I know the man next to me hits over 62%. Career-wise, and so do I, guys. So at the end of the day, I've lost 5 fucking bets this year of -140 or worse, and that's like losing 7.5 fucking units. It ain't losing 5 units right there, guys. So you've got to pay attention to the juice, guys, and I'll pay juice for some people and I won't for others, but you've got to pay attention to it. Next one up. He may be the devil because he's 66 in the black book. I never thought of that, guys. Sonny Gray versus the Cubs. 2022, he had a 24K percentage with a 7.4 walk percentage. This year, he has a 29% strikeout percentage and a 9.3 walk percentage. Opening line was 7+ at +100, now at a +114-ish for 7+ strikeouts. Excuse me. PrizePicks has him at a flight 6 and hits allowed under over 4.5. Projected lineup today for your Cubbies: 6 righties and 3 lefties. K per 9, 2022. He had a 10.4 at home and a 6.8 on the road. Once again, he's better at home than he is on the road, with an 11 K per 9 this year and an 8.4 on the road this year. He is at home here. Lefties. Last year, he was better than 9.1 K per 9 and an 8.5, but this year he's struggling to put those ones away with a 6 K per 9 compared to a 13.7 from the right-handed side. Old, Sonny, not so young man anymore, Gray. What you got to say?
It's probably one too many lefties for me to take it at what it currently is at a 5.5. Yeah, I'd be more interested in that, but you are absolutely correct in that he struggles to put lefties away. Only a 16.2% K percentage against lefties this year, and even 3 in the lineup makes it dicey for me at the current number, especially when I go into the Cubs swing metrics. And so in the zone, pitches in the zone, they make contact almost 90% of the time, 90, which is actually one of the best marks in baseball, both last 15 days and over the course of the season. All the rest of their swing metrics, pretty average. Nothing really to write home about that's bad, but nothing really to write home about that's good either. So when I compare that against some of their recent performances against right-handed pitching, this to me just feels a touch too high. But then on the other hand, Gray has been the kind of pitcher that can go out and get this done. So especially when you factor in that he's got a 35.1% K percentage this year at home, and weather here, it was forecast for rain, for it to be cold and rainy. It looks like it's going to hold off, and it's probably just going to be overcast and in the high 60s, low 70s. So for me, I for sure don't want to fade and try to do an under with the Cubs at home against Sonny Gray with how he's been striking people out. But this is, like I said, this is probably one too many lefties for me to want to jump on this over, or if I got it at a much, much better price.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when I went and dug in deeper right now, dude. I was like, holy fuck, I don't look at these guys as good as the Guardians or Red Sox at striking out, but their fucking numbers say that. And holy shit, guys, we get to talk Sonny Gray versus the Cubs, who by the numbers, him being at home, he's got 6 righties. Everything looks great, right? And they're striking out at almost near a 24% clip over the last 200 days. This is great. Sonny Gray time, right? I like to do an adjusted K percentage here. And when we take in the walk percentage with the strikeout percentage, and I like to take for every 1% overall walk percentage or under, I'll adjust it by a 0.5% to the strikeout percentage, guys. We're down to a 22.8 right here, guys. So at the end of the day, I think the books know something here, guys. And if it was rain involved, they would have dropped them down 1 just for you to bet them. And even with, like my guy was saying, how the rain looks like it's going to hold off, they still put them at a 6.5. And I get why the money's coming into the under, guys. We talked about it, guys. We had to kick out freaking Sonny Gray last year out the book. And it was not out of his own doing, guys. It was because the Twins wouldn't let him go 3 times through the lineup. Talked about it in the spring training and offseason, how he worked on his endurance. And all but 1 game, he got pulled early when he should have kept going. So we've got to think that they at least trust him now. So we can't be too worried about him getting yanked early, even though that was a fucking problem. And they did do it, I believe, against the Yankees as well.
The
They
Yankees
took them out early. Yeah,
did it against the Yankees.
Yeah, for no reason. So that right there was just another like, they're gonna do this with Gray again, bro. Like right when you think you could bet Sonny Gray, it's like that little fishy thing, try again.
Yep.
You almost got it. But at the end of the day, guys, when I looked at these numbers, and I've been looking a lot more into whiff and chase rating when I get into dissecting these guys at the end of the day, and when we look at the Cubs swing metrics, holy crap, they're 1.3 below league average in chase rate, while being almost 2% lower than league average on whiff rate this year. So he can go out there and get 7, yes, but I don't bet cans. And by the numbers, guys, and what I'm noticing the track with Gray, he needs chase percentage. He needs right-handed bats, guys. And this does not equal up to him. Now, he is 2-0, guys, to the over when he did face the Red Sox and the Guardians, but his number was not 6.5 those days. It was 4.5 and 5.5. So now the books are no longer giving you value with Sonny Gray in a spot that actually lines up worse for him than the Guardians and the Red Sox by what the whiff percentage and chase percentage say. So I actually lean to the guys under today, guys, but I don't bet it, so I'll just let it go. So anything else to add?
Just if you play this over, just know that it's likely you're going to be sweating the hell out of it the entire start. And if you get it, it probably won't be until like one of his very, very, very last batters. This is not one where, for example, like Ohtani before against the Cards, or just the Cardinals, who like fucking hits his over in like the first 8 batters. Like, this is not going to be one of those starts. They have too many lefties, even with 3, that's too many. And they also, like what you mentioned with the chase. So Gray with the 84th percentile chase rating for the season, and the Cubs not chasing that much.
No, they're not. And
Bellinger, tread very lightly with this one.
You need high velo up and in, and that's not Sonny Gray.
No.
So you hang a curveball to Bellinger, bro, you're fucked.
Tread lightly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if I had balls, guys, I'd bet the under. When I like my guy next to me, I got this guy from anywhere from like 4 to 7 today, guys, and there ain't no wiggle room right there. And I talk wiggle room, but wiggle motherfuckers. But yeah, let's talk about this last guy on the board and my tiny shriveled baby nuts, or else I'd bet him under too. Number 7 in the black book, Corbin Burnes versus the Royals. Last year, 30.5, 6.4 walk percentage when he was Corbin Burnes. This year, Corbin Bum, 19.8 K percentage with an 8.6 walk percentage. Opening line was a 7+ -120, 7+ -104 is where he closed out at before the show. PrizePicks has him at a 6.5. Pitching outs, earned runs, and hits were not available on PrizePicks. Projected lineups is 5 lefties, 4 righties. K per 9 for Corbin Burnes last year, 11.9 at home, 9.6 on the road. Where lefties, righties, he dominated the same with a 10.8 roughly. Corbin Bum this year, he's averaging 7.6 at home, which he's averaged more at home with a 7 on the road. And lefties, he's got a 7.5 K per 9 and a 6.9 versus the right-handed side. 60+ lives, not 60 likes. That don't add up. We usually let my guy go first, but on this one, I'm going to go first because I don't have the balls to bet unders, and this is what I think. Here we go again. Now I got to do it all over. Here we go again. We got to do it in the DMX voice, right? Like, I wish I had the balls, guys. And I mean, it takes balls to bet unders in this game. And if I had a pair of them, I'd be on this man's under today. Like I said last week versus the Giants, where he didn't fucking come close again. Corbin Burnes should be a 4.5, guys, -140.50 to a +5.5 to a 5.5 at plus money, taxed simply on the Royals. It shouldn't be to the 5.5 unless it's because how the fucking Royals have been playing. I get it. We've been picking on the Royals all year with our guys. I get it, guys. So why do we get a 6.5? I don't know. Personally, maybe the man next to me does when we get into it, guys. But they just keep treating this man as if he's 2021, 2022 Corbin Burnes, not the shell of the man he is today. If you look at his velo, guys, his cutter and his fastball, which he throws 60% of the time, is down a mile per hour from last season. Until he gets back to being old Burnesy, he's an easy let go for me. Like I said, I wish I had big brass balls like the man next to me who bets unders, but I don't. I have little baby dried up fucking old man nuts, guys, and I do not bet unders, guys, because I'd probably break my fucking TV if he went out and got 12 strikeouts on me betting the under. I just can't do it. So at the end of the day, I think he's the 3rd best pitcher on this team with Woodruff and Peralta ahead of him. And I think this man's going to have some Dookie Brown Padres uniform on by the end of the trade deadline. So Corbin Burnes, your newest Padre.
Well, You're not going to get big balls from me on this one. I'm certainly not playing as under. I can't against the Royals. The Royals are one of the few inhabitants of what I call no under island, which is I might not like always bet on their over, but I sure as fuck aren't betting on their under. Their swing discipline is just god awful, atrocious, especially in the latter part of their lineup with guys like Franmil Reyes. My Lord, is that bad? Now, let's talk about Burns. Sharpie already mentioned the velo. His cutter last year was at 95, down to 93.8. His curve, 81.6, down to 80.1. And his changeup, 90.3, down to 89.4. Everything is down. You also look at his spin. His cutter spin is down. His curveball spin is down. Everything is down for this man. Now, here is why I think, this is my theory about why we might still be getting a 6.5 for this guy. So looking at Burns's starts this year, and when you look at teams' walk percentages, so teams that he's faced, teams that walk under 8%, there's only one. That would be the Diamondbacks. And he's 1-0 to that number with averaging 8 Ks, one start, and has a 30.8% K percentage. Teams that walk between 8 to 9.9%, he's 0-4 against this number, averaging 4.5 Ks with 20% K percentage. Teams that walk 10% plus, he is 0-1, averaging 3 strikeouts. Again, one start. It's the Mets, and it averages 13% K percentage. Those numbers translate well to previous years. Well, where do the Royals fall? The Royals fall in the lowest tier of walk percentage for every team that he has faced this year. In fact, they are the lowest at 7.3%. Again, Diamondbacks were at 7.6. He was on the road in that game, struck out 8 at a 30.8 K percentage. The Royals are even worse. They don't take pitches, they swing out of control, and they get behind in counts. Now, that said, 6.5, this man is going to have to prove this to me before I can even think about betting on a 6.5. So maybe if you want to throw him in to an alt parlay, you want to go down 1 for sure. You maybe want to try to go down 2 to put him into something. But I do believe that the walk percentage has a lot to do with it, because this is matched up going all the way back to the middle part of last year, where teams that have a walk percentage under 8%, he almost never hits this number against. And the Royals are they're the worst team this year. And if you look back, it gets kind of wonky looking at numbers, trying to compare to points in time last year. They have one of the worst walk percentages that Corbin Burns has faced over the last season and a half.
Yeah. Corbin freaking bomb Burns, guys. But no, you bringing up the walk percentage is key. A lot of times, guys, last year, a lot of people would thank me for bringing that up. A lot of people that were betting K-props never would look at walk percentage, guys. Walk percentage means more to me than a strikeout percentage. Yeah, it does. I'll stay the fuck off of a team who's striking out at a 39% clip or a 29% clip, but they're walking 13. Walks are murder to a K-prop. You want to run my freaking pitch count up? No. I want guys swinging and swinging often and early, guys. Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to pay attention to walk percentage, and you may have actually probably found something. And if you're right, we know to circle it and attack him from that way on out at the end of the day. And we know how to fade him too, because he'll be a 6.5 next week versus a team, and we're gonna get right on under.
I always say, to me, the thing that nips bettors the most isn't bankroll management, although that's up there. It isn't misreading lines. It's FOMO, fear of missing out. And you see Corbin Burns at home against the Royals, and your FOMO starts to kick in. You're like, well, fuck, I got to get on this guy. Or if you don't bet him and then he hits, then you're sitting there thinking, God damn it, why, I missed out on money. You can't look at it that way. You never had that money to begin with. And so I would rather wait and see and watch a guy and then record that information for future use than to try to force something that just isn't there. And to me, neither the over nor the under make sense to put my money behind, and I would advise you to not do the same.
Yes, sir, guys. We're going to hit a quick recap. We're going to touch on Snell and May at the end, and then we're going to say our goodbyes, guys. If you're just showing up for the recap, do me a favor and smash the like. It helps our algorithms more than you know. So today we talk 6 pitchers, guys. I have 2 bets. Udi Perez over 4.5 at plus 108. I will not pay minus 140 or higher for no one who hasn't proven a thing to me, no matter how high up in the prospect farm systems they are, guys. He is at plus money now. I don't hate a half unit bet on that, but I think that's an overreaction for a guy that we've never seen. So don't hate a half unit bet on it, but I did get in. I pretty much told y'all with posting numerous videos of the guy that we were doing a show on this guy. But at the end of the day, we got in there. We also started our alt parlay with him. We took him down to 4. Mason Miller, guys, when they gave him his first start, it was minus 150, 160, and I stayed off. I will not pay high juice for a guy that hasn't proven nothing to me, guys. So we're going to take him down to 4 on our alt parlay, and then we're going to take Strider down to 6 on our alt parlay. We did talk how the books are begging for over money on his plus money to the 8.5. But my guy next to me may have actually figured that out, and I was able to back it up with numbers from last year that he had this year. So high walk percentages has been a problem for this guy to hit 9. So did take him down to 6. No way can you look at Spencer Strider for the under here, guys. At the end of the day, he's on the Mount Rushmore for a reason. Then we're going to take Logan Allen down to 4+ to finish the alt parlay. I got it in at a minus 112. It's now up to a minus 134 before the show closed. So at the end of the day, it's still a bettable thing by taking Strider 6, Perez 4, and Logan Allen at 4. I wanted Logan Allen at 4.5, guys. At the end of the day, I cannot trust my hogs. I got to trust my hogs in situations where the numbers say no, and the numbers say no. And Allen just hasn't proven it to me, guys, where McClanahan versus the Pirates, Orioles cash, Valdez versus and Javier versus the Angels cash. Those are hogs. Those are guys that I will back in spots, guys. And I had to learn lessons from losing last week. And I was running some guys up in this type of situation, and it would clack me. So I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if this guy does hit 6 to 8 tonight. But if I'm wrong, just get me 4, motherfucker. You won't hurt me that way, guys. So we did talk Corbin Burns and how I think he should not be a freaking 6.5. And would you laugh at me if I told you he should be a 4.5 to 5.5? Well, maybe the guy next to me figured it out, guys, and it is the walk percentage. And the only team, like he said, where he got more than this was versus the D-backs, who haven't actually, where the Royals are actually worse than the D-backs in that category, guys. So I lean under. I don't bet unders, and I'm just going to let it go. If he goes and hits, that means we learned a lesson on him, guys. And lessons we don't have to bet money on, guys. We can learn from it and make money off of it later on down the line, guys. So at the end of the day, I don't like betting back-to-backs, and we've got multiple back-to-backs. Garrett Cole was one of them. Unless you drop a whole new lineup with a bunch of lefties, I can't even look at you guys. But he is at home. He tends to cheat at home, and yeah, wouldn't be surprised if after the 3rd inning, he does what he's done over the last 2 years and his strikeouts start to go way up. So not saying he's doing something, not saying he doesn't, but read his messages. It says he's doing something. So then we get into Blake Snell, guys. The guy that I freaking can no longer bet money on, and I may no longer bet money on for the rest of my fucking life, guys. At the end of the day, he opened at a 6.5. They dropped him down to a 5.5. I do lean the over, which is crazy as fuck, guys. I mean, I get it. It's juice to the fucking gills at 5.5, and no way can I pay that type of juice for this guy. Now, I talk about, people not getting a lot of strikeouts the first game. You could look at him again, guys. He only got 6, and he fucking should have got us to 7, guys. Chris Taylor, watch tonight, is going to do what we thought he was going to do last week and strike out 3 fucking times, and this fool will end up with 7 to 10 when I don't bet him, guys. But I can't. He's just burnt me too many motherfucking times, guys, that I've got to let it go. Taking the fact that Noli brought it up to me, who was one of the freaking worst pitchers in the history of baseball 3rd time through the lineup? Why did the Tampa Bay Rays get rid of a guy like Blake Snell? Oh, fuck. This is going to be the 4th, 5th, and 6th time through the lineup. Oh, Lord, guys. I'm leaning Dodgers money line. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. And that's another reason why, guys, is Dustin May. He's had 3 back-to-backs last year since coming back from Tommy John. One happens to be these Padres, guys. He hits his strikeouts. The first time versus the Marlins last year, he got 9. We've talked about it, guys. You don't look at it when they hit a fucking bunch the first time. Came back and only got 4. Duh. Then he's seen these Padres, guys. He got 5 the first time, then 3 the next. Then he's seen the Diamondbacks this year on a back-to-back. First time he had 4. The next time he had 5, guys. So at the end of the day, he hasn't punched out people like he was at one point. He's actually came back to the guy of being when he first came into the league, and he's pitching the contact, and he knows he can get ground balls, and he knows he can go deep that way because Dave Roberts is a cuck, and they like to limit this guy either 90 pitches or 6 innings or whenever Dave Roberts fucking feels so, guys. It's really, you never know that day it's going. At the end of the day, you're playing with fire when betting a prop with Dave Roberts, but the lean is over on May, guys. They've dropped him to a 4.5 at bettable juice. I think this man can average a strikeout per inning. This guy is an elite pitcher. I will back him on back-to-backs. I did versus Arizona. I expect him to replicate the same type of game as he did the last time that he had a back-to-back, guys. Elite pitchers know they're having a back-to-back. This guy has more than just 2 pitches. He's going to need to have an elite slider tonight, though, guys. He cannot be hanging pitches. He's got to have that elite slider, that 2-seamer working, ground balls pumping. And I'd actually look at his outs over before I took his strikeouts, guys. I do expect this guy to come in with a better game plan. A different game plan, guys. First game plan versus Arizona was fastball, 60% of the time. Then the next week when he's seen him, it was fastball like 38% of the time, guys. So he did come in with a different strategy. I expect this guy to come in again with a different strategy as well. Both leans, no bets. Anything you got to say on that fucking bomb Blake Snell and my guy Dustin May?
Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. Right there.
That's how you showed up this morning, and I just died laughing.
That's what I'm on. I want nothing to do with him. I'm not looking over. I actually purposefully didn't even cap Blake Snell today because if I did, I knew I would be tempted to do something because it's a back-to-back. So I purposely deleted him from my spreadsheet. I deleted him out of the card, and I said, I'm not even running numbers on him. For May, everything you said is right. Mute, I think.
All good. My cat wanted to come fuck with my camera and like sleep right next to it. I'm like, you ain't knocking this over. We almost done. So let's talk about it, guys. I appreciate you all for showing up. Sucks that we got 60 plus live damn near the whole time. Couldn't even get the 50 likes, you know, like I asked for one thing and one thing only. We've been bringing you cash all motherfucking year long. And yeah, smash it if you haven't, guys. Spin Doc. Anything extra to add in? You want to tell them where they can find you, what you got going on, and all that good shit?
Yeah, I mean, at Spin Doc Sports, you can find me there. One my public play that I post, one with Evaldi last night. There will be another one tonight. That should be going up pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, let's get this money. And don't fucking trust Blake Snell. That's it.
Hey, he might get the strikeouts while getting his ass handed to him today. Like, I could see that type of game, you know, where he only goes 4 innings, gets 6 strikeouts, but gives up 4 runs.
If any pitcher on the card can do it, it's him.
Yeah. But you won't see me betting him, and I actually may be on that Dodgers money line when it's all said and done, guys. Well, guys, that's all, folks. Let's finish this week strong. The Balking Dead is Monday through Friday, so I will see you again in 2 days. We are 8-2 on our weekend play of the day, so make sure you follow me on Twitter at Sharpies Bets, and we will try to keep putting money in your pocket while you get to spend time with your family, guys. So smash the like button on your way out if you haven't. Big Show Picks, the best producer in the whole wide world, guys. The guy that brings your comments up, the one that's probably talks to every freaking one of you in the DMs if you talk to him. He freaking talks to people in the chat. Me, I don't do that shit, guys. I'm a freaking cacksucker and you guys support me, guys. Support the man who supports you guys. When you got 5, 10, 15 minutes, you want to drive, you bullshitting, go throw on the man's podcast and give him some feedback, guys. Let him know good news, bad news, what you think of it, what he can do to make it better, guys. It's all about helping another man do what he's been trying to do, guys. And MMA is his love, and he actually knows what he's fucking doing there. So, yeah, appreciate you all, guys. You already know this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over to PrizePicks and use that promo code PubSports. Get a match deposit up to $100, minimum of $25 on your first deposit with a one-time rollover, guys. Not no bullshit, janky-ass 14-time like some books got out there. So, appreciate you all. This show is produced by Big Show Picks and on Pub Sports Radio. Some say we be pubbing. I say pubbing we be.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.